All In Sports Network. We love sports.
All right, I have a question for you. Who
Okay.
are all the teams that Jim Harbaugh played for?
Okay. Played for Colts,
Okay.
Chargers,
Okay.
Bears.
Yep.
Last one, Ravens.
You were so close. You were so close. He played for the first three, but he never actually hit the field for the Ravens.
Gotcha.
So kudos to you for knowing that he even was on the Raiders or the Ravens, but never actually played for them. I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam. We're the Unstable Blues. Happy to present All Indiana Sports as part of the All In Sports and Rogue Media Sports Networks.
Welcome back in yet another team with a complicated Colts history, a beloved Colts quarterback, now the Chargers coach. The quarterback coach that led the current Chargers quarterback to the best rookie season to date is now the Colts coach. And
yes, you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at All Indiana Sports and Twitter at All Indy Sports. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
Indeed, Chargers are up 20-11 in the all-time series. That includes 3-8 for the Colts since the realignment in 2002. 3 of those 11 games went to overtime, and the last one of those, Shane Steichen was on the Chargers sideline for the quarterbacks.
Yes, speaking of the other sideline, one of the most memorable moments came in the 1995 wild card game with Jim Harbaugh at quarterback for the Colts. But what I remember most in that game is not Harbaugh, but rookie running back Zach Crockett starting in place of Marshall Faulk and going for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns in San Diego in a great upset that led the Colts to the AFC Championship game and a Hail Mary away from the Super Bowl in that time. Kind of fitting that a unknown running back kind of sparked an offense. Seems very Jim Harbaugh-ish, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, I have another one for you here.
Okay.
I also remember Peyton Manning breaking Dan Marino's single-season touchdown record against the Drew Brees Chargers on a post route from Brandon Stokely. And then because of the situation, Manning immediately motioned that they were going for 2. As the score was 31-29, they got the 2 to force overtime and won it on a field goal late in the season, mind you, at home. No fanfare to breaking of the record. It's the job is at hand, and let's do it. I love it.
Yeah. Then Chargers kicker Nate Kading was the Colts killer as he was 4-1, including 2 playoff wins.
Yeah.
One of them in overtime and was a deciding factor in each of those wins.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. He had that mindset and that dog in him, even though he was just a kicker. Speaking of which, Hounds has healthy treats that can help you train your puppies. That's what we love at Country Mountain Dogs. You can click the link in the description for more on that. It's time for the keys to the game. What are your keys to the game for the Colts to beat the Chargers?
Run the ball and keep running the ball, and then stop the run and keep stopping the run. That second part of that is very, very important in this game. We know Jim Harbaugh loves to run the ball, so we need to stop that. If you stop that, you make them one-dimensional. You make Justin Herbert throw the ball. Yep. Sounds weird, but I believe that our secondary can take on their receivers. Obviously, their one
completed.
Yep.
Okay.
Obviously, their one is Ladd McConkey, which is their slot receiver, and then they have Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston as well, who are both very good receivers. But I believe we can limit them enough to where, I think they're so successful because of the run offense that they have. Provides the more opening of that, of the passing game for the Chargers. Also, Josh Downs is not playing. He is injured. So I think we're getting a lot of injuries at really bad times compared to whenever we have to play harder teams, because Chargers are one of our harder teams that we have to play.
Yep.
This is also a game that's like, okay, Colts have kind of played teams so far.
Yep.
This one of the first teams that's like, okay, they started off 3-0, but since they're 3-3.
Yep.
So
1-2.
okay. So they're kind of struggling a little bit right now. They kind of got to get back on the train, back on to get going. And this is kind of a bounce back game for them. Beating a 5-1 team would be really good for playoff and all that stuff.
And AFC.
And it's AFC.
Neither of these teams have lost an AFC game thus far. They're both 4-0 against AFC opponents.
Yep. So this will be the first loss for one of the teams.
Yep.
On the deep, and then on the offensive side of the ball, spread the ball around. You have the best running back in the league. Use him. You don't have Josh Downs, who is kind of your get the first down guy. So use Pittman in that. Pittman is your possession receiver, which also means you can get first downs with him. He'll fight for those extra 2-3 yards. He's lanky. He's long enough to get them. Kind of put Pittman in what Downs does. I think it'll work just as well. Pierce is back. Throw the deep balls. We saw what he could do in the medium range last week with those 2 big catches. Yep. Tyler Warren is still phenomenal. Who is going to guard him? We'll figure out in the matchups to watch. But those are my keys.
All right. Jim Harbaugh, like his brother John and Mike Vrabel, are the kind of coach where a team takes on the character of the coach. All 3 of them, tough, physical, resilient. But for Jim, just a little confusing with a strange inability to close the deal in some situations. That goes for both him as a quarterback and I think some of his time in Michigan and with San Francisco. And it still remains to be seen, but obviously the last couple of years where he's been with the Chargers has been that way too, and now it's grown down to Herbert. He can't win when it matters in the playoffs. Is this playoffs? No. Is it a big game? Does it matter? Yes. We've talked about, the AFC and the records, and this is a watershed moment for both of these teams to really see, you kind of know who you are, but now you get to see who you are against top level competition.
Mm-hmm.
So be ready for 70 minutes. Yes, a game is typically 60 minutes. Be ready for all 70 minutes of overtime included. We talked about it in the open. 3 of the past 11 meetings have gone into overtime, including some playoff games. So be prepared that it's going to be that. Prepare yourself now mentally, physically, that it's going to go into overtime. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those shifts in the mind because you want to play as if you won't be going 70 minutes, but you have to prepare that you might be.
Yep.
Good run fits, gap schemes to eliminate Herbert's escapability. The Chargers are down both starting left tackles, although Goaaal may be coming back. But go at them. This is a weak offensive line, a hurt offensive line, and so you want to use the strength of your defensive line against that. But at the same time, you have to protect the edge and make sure that you are taking care of all those gaps because Herbert is elusive, deceivingly so, and as we mentioned, they love to run the ball. Speaking of the ball, protect the ball, take the ball. Make sure that ball, your younger brother is learning this. You can't have the game without the ball.
Yep.
And so the ball dictates the game. And so you have to make sure you hold on to it like it is a treasure and take it away like you mean it and you want it. almost guarantees where the victory will go. And then the last thing for me is vary up the offense. You can't get stuck running the ball or passing the ball. You have to vary it up. And that includes quick game, which the Colts have not done much of. I'd like to see them mix that in more with runs and over-the-top stuff and the intermediate. And another thing that they haven't done a ton of is planned screens. You catch the defense sleeping and you get them on a planned screen, not something that's a check down, but you set it up and you catch them sleeping. Speaking of which, Joi Baby can help you with your little one, and they're sleeping with their sleep sacks. So click the link in the description for more on that. That leads us to the matchups to watch. What are your matchups to watch?
I think Kwity Paye, Taekwon Luz, and Leatu Latu against the weak tackles that we talked about and containing the edge on Herbert. And then the same can go for Grove and Buck getting up through the middle and stopping the run, getting to Herbert. And then Tyler Warren versus whoever.
Who can do it?
Team tends to be a theme whenever we go to the matchups to watch. Who's going to guard Tyler Warren? Derwin James, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if Derwin isn't on the outside. And then Jonathan Taylor versus their front four. I see Jonathan Taylor having a field day, but he has every single game. Whether it seems like if he doesn't go for over 100 yards, he's getting multiple touchdowns.
Yep.
Which is still very impactful. And then I'm going to go you'll like this one.
Okay.
Head coach matchup. Shane Steichen, an up-and-comer, versus Jim Harbaugh, who's more of a vet. He's new in the league right now, but he's coached the Niners before.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He was a player himself. He was a quarterback himself who Shane coached. He didn't coach Jim,
No.
but he coached quarterbacks, so he kind of understands that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to get the better? The young and up-and-comer who has been a little iffy up until now, but coached really well this season.
Yep.
Or the vet who has a lot more experience.
And their schemes are very different. Jim Harbaugh is very pounded trenches, all that kind of stuff, old school. Shane Steichen a little bit more into the creative scheming of things. So which one of those is going to win out as well? I also have Jonathan Taylor versus Derwin James and Tyler Warren versus Derwin James and the whole offense versus Derwin James, because that's pretty much all I can see that they really have. I know there's talk of the linebackers, but without Khalil Mack in there, that really is depleted as well. So they're going to line Derwin James up a lot of different places. Derwin James cannot do everything, so the Colts have a choice to go at him and wear him down because they know they're going to try to move him around, or just try to stay away from him. I think you can do a combination of both.
Agreed.
That's not to say that he's bad. He's very good, and I think that that's what makes him so great is he can be versatile. He's almost like a linebacker if you line him up in the slot, but he can be good in coverage on the outside. He can be good at either strong or free safety. So he is very good, but he also is sort of on the backside of his career, as we saw with Jalen Ramsey. That can be not so great at that position. So find a way to either stay away or exploit it, or both. Alec Pierce versus Dante Jackson on the outside. Without Josh Downs, I'm going to say Anthony Gould gets a lot more time on the field, and he ends up in the slot quite a bit more, or some combination of where you said Pitt is on the outside and then maybe Gould gets on the outside. Now you have Pierce and Gould on the outside with speed. That may be unstoppable. So look forward to seeing where that lands as well, because Josh Downs has been such a consistent slot receiver that when he's out, what does that mean? We saw at the beginning of last season when he was out, it didn't work so good. So can the Colts weather the storm, at least for this week or into next week, depending on how long he's in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
The Colts cornerbacks, as you mentioned, versus Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen. Still not sure if Johnston is going to be back yet or not. He was out last week.
Right.
I also have Shane Steichen, but I said versus Jesse Minter, the longtime defensive coordinator for Jim Harbaugh, offense, defense. And then you're going to love this one. Lou Anarumo versus Greg Norman. These are two guys that know each other very well, even though they were never on the same team because they were in the same division. For 4 years, they went against each other. Greg Norman with the Ravens and Lou Anarumo with the Bengals. Lou is 3-5 against Roman when they were in that division together. So Greg Norman may have the Lou Anarumo fix and may have the number, but we'll see if Lou can rebound. Speaking of which, Open Goal has a great rebounder goal set up for your backyard. Click the link in the description for more. That leads us to your all-in player to watch presented by Underdog Fantasy Sports. Take a look at this.
Football's back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code COLTS to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code COLTS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 and up, 19 and up in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and up, and in Colorado for some games, 21 and up in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and must be present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
All right, so who is the player that you are watching? You got your Underdog Fantasy Sports, and you're going, you know what? I'm going higher.
I think Tyler Warren's getting another touchdown this week. So that's a pretty safe bet. Anything Tyler Warren, I think it's a safe bet this week because I don't think Derwin James will be on him as much, in all honesty. And then anything JT, I'd go as well. So those are my two guys.
So who is your one all-in player to watch then?
The best running back in the league. Until he has an off week, he will be my player to watch.
All right. My player to watch that I identified before early on was Josh Downs, but he's not going to be there. So I have to go with Tyler Warren. He's the middle of the field guy. He's going to be the guy to take up all that space. I think he's going to have a field day against this defense that I don't think is prepared. I think, like we've said, you can be mentally prepared and you think you can be physically prepared for what Tyler Warren brings, but there is a reason he is the number one tight end in the league in almost all categories and the number one rookie still in passing yardage. Is that true?
I believe so.
Maybe. We're not sure. But there's a reason he is that, because he is a rookie, but he plays like a vet. And so he finds the spots. He knows the routes. He knows in-choice routes where to be so that he can be open for the ball. And if that all fails, he is a large human being who can go up and get the ball if it's thrown in his area.
Yeah.
So, prediction time. Who's going to win? What's the score going to be?
Colts are going to win 38-35. Michael Badgley hits the game winner.
I also have a 3-point game, a little bit lower of a score. As I say, I am not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. So the Chargers will win, I think, 34-31. At least that's what I'm saying. So
just looked it up. Ibuka still has the most
Okay.
receiving yards, and then it's the Carolina guy. I
Tedero.
forget. Yes, and then
McMillan.
it's Warren. So
Okay. All right.
both Ibuka and
McMillan.
however you say his name have over 400, and Tyler is almost there.
Okay. Sounds good. When Ibuka might be out for a little bit, sounds like.
Yeah.
So some chance to catch up. But no shock that a receiver would have more yards than a tight end,
Yep.
Whatever. Still the best tight end in the league. But that's all the time that we have for this week. We'll be back next week with our recap of this Chargers game and our Keep the Pace episode with a final preseason preview of the Pacer season. We'll also have our Unstable Pick 6 NFL predictions, Crimson Cutback look at IU football, and our preview of the Colts hosting the Titans again before playing any other team in the division.
Yep. This is Liam
And this is Kevin.
reminding you to stay all Indiana.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.